Namaste. I'm Bhavna, the founder of Learning Sutra Lifelong Learning. I'm an English language trainer and, of course, a storyteller. And you can call me Story Aunty. Do you like listening to stories? If so, welcome to my channel, Storyland by Learning Sutra, where you can learn English through stories. So what are you waiting for? Let's go to Storyland. Are you ready to listen to today's story? Find a cozy corner and settle down with a glass of water. Namaste, everyone. This is Story Aunty once again, and I'm back with yet another interesting story for all you children out there. But before we start the story, I'd like to introduce you to someone very, very special. Get ready, because here she comes. Can you guess who she is? Here you go. This is little baby Berry. She's a little doggy, a little puppy, and she loves listening to stories just like you. And she told me today morning, Mama, can I sit with you when you're narrating the story? And that's why she's here with me today. But Berry seems to be sad. Do you know why? Let me ask her. Berry, why are you looking so sad today? Oh, so Berry says she wants to say namaste to you. Namaste, everyone. Would you like to say namaste to Berry? Namaste, everyone. Are you ready to start listening to the story with Berry? Berry wants to say something else. Let's see what she's saying now. Berry says to remind all of you that the story is for you, and so you can pause the video to think about the story as many times as you wish, and then continue it again. Yes, and Berry says, before you start watching the story, pause the video right now, visit my website, thelearningsutra.com, to download a free worksheet. And in the worksheet, think about the questions in the Think to Learn section. When you're ready, then you can continue watching the video. So do you want to do that right now? I'll give you a minute. Stop the story, pause it here, and download the free worksheet to think about the questions. Let's start with the story now. The name of the story is The Show Must Go On. The author, Katherine Reilly. The illustrator, Lamya Sharaby. And the designer is Noha Amin. She has designed the entire book. Here's a little note about the author. The author, Katherine Reilly, is a dear colleague of mine, and she has kindly agreed to let me narrate the story on my channel. So thank you, Katherine, for allowing me to narrate the story, and also thank you for writing such a lovely story. This is a short thank you note from the author of the story. So pause the video here and read the note. Now, we are ready to meet the main character of the story. Meet Melanie, a little girl like you who loves life. She wants to travel, she wants to go to school,
She wants to become an actor, have a family, and much, much more. But wait, how can she do all that if she's... Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to tonight's performance, Beauty and the Beast. Please turn off your cell phones and we hope you enjoy the play, said Melanie, who addressed her audience. Melanie, are you out of bed again? Who's that? Let's find out. Young lady, you know you should be resting, don't you? Asked the nurse. So that's who it was. The nurse. I was about to star in another play. My audience is waiting to see me perform. Melanie replied. Well, if you get enough rest and you're feeling better, we might arrange something for you, the nurse said to Melanie as she kindly smiled and helped Melanie get into bed. You mean you'll let me perform for the entire hospital staff? Melanie asked enthusiastically. Yay! Why not? Just make sure you get your strength back, noted the nurse. Sweet dreams, Melanie, wished the nurse. Nighty-night, Nurse Annie, answered Melanie, who was gazing out of the window. One day, I'll become an actor, and all my friends and family will come and see me perform on stage, she continued as she slowly fell asleep. The following morning, Melanie sprang out of bed to tell her friend the good news. I'm going to perform in front of a live audience. This is amazing. I have to tell Joe all about it, exclaimed Melanie as she discreetly left her room in a hurry. Where do you think she's going? Let's find out. Good morning, Joe. Did you sleep well? Yelled Melanie, startling her friend, who was resting in bed. Good morning, Melanie. You know you shouldn't be here. The nurses will be looking for you, her friend Joe noted. Oh, come on. Don't be a worrywart. You have to try and have some fun once in a while, smiled Melanie as she stood next to his bed. All right, Joe sighed. So what would you like to do today? He asked. Have you seen the Pirates of the Caribbean? Melanie asked as she placed a paper hat on his head. So, I'm supposed to be a pirate? Joe asked. Exactly. I'll play the beautiful princess who's trying to escape, Melanie proposed. Ugh. All right, uttered Joe, who played the role of the pirate. Someone save me from this dreadful pirate. Where's my Prince Charming? Save me. Melanie recited. I think you are performing a bit too loudly, noted Joe. Why do you say that? Asked Melanie. Because the nurse heard you. He calmly explained. For the millionth time, Melanie, you have to stay in bed and rest. The nurse explained to Melanie, who was obviously frustrated. But I feel fine. It's so boring lying in bed all day. Why don't we go outside and play? She pleaded with the nurse. We don't want you to catch a cold or tire yourself. Why don't you play with your animal friends? Her nurse asked. They are bored too, Melanie exclaimed. Have you seen her animal friends? I'll go get your medicine. You stay right here. I'll be back in a moment, the nurse instructed her. But what happened when the nurse went away? All right, guys, the coast is clear. It's Operation the Great Escape. You three cover our back, while Monkey and I escape, Melanie ordered as she prepared to leave her room. Melanie and her faithful monkey were making their way through enemy territory. They had to free their friend Joe and escape together. Melanie narrated as if she was starring in an action film. Joe, hey Joe, Joe, whispered Melanie as she peeked through the door. Melanie, what are you doing here again? Asked Joe. I've come to spring you out of here, Melanie explained. Oh dear, I guess I should play along, sighed Joe. Quick, untie me. The enemy will be here any minute now, he exclaimed. The coast is clear, partner. Monkey and I will be on the lookout until you escape, Melanie urged him. All right, partner. By the way, I like your hair color today, Joe noted. Look at Melanie's hair. Thanks. Now get going before they see you, Melanie replied. Mission complete, Corporal. Now let's get back to base, Melanie commanded as they made their way to their room. A few moments later, Melanie's nurse entered the room. Here you go, dear. This one tastes like strawberry, she said as she handed Melanie her medicine. I hate strawberry, Melanie replied in disgust as she drank it. I have some good news for you, said the nurse as she smiled to Melanie. Is it about my performance for the hospital? Melanie cautiously asked. Yes, it is. The doctor said that if you're feeling better, we can help you put on a show for us. How about this Saturday? The nurse asked. Really? Yes, that would be great. I'm so excited. Will I get to be under a spotlight? How about my outfit? Are we sending invitations? Oh, I want you to save a front row seat for Joe. He'll want to see me act. He's my biggest fan. Melanie enthusiastically said. She hugged her friends with all her might. Look at her hugging all her animal friends. Oh, here's Berry. She wants a hug too. Let me give her a hug before I continue. Is that okay? I have written invitations for everyone in the hospital. Nurse Annie helped me hand them out. Melanie explained to her friend, Monkey. We are going to give Joe his invitation in person. I can't wait to see the look on his face when I tell him that his ticket is for a front row seat. Melanie proudly stated. The following day, Melanie made her way to Joe's room to share the good news. But wait, where's Joe? He's not here and he's not there. He's not anywhere. So where's Joe? Nurse Annie, I couldn't find Joe. Could you please tell him that I left an invitation on his bed? My performance is tomorrow and he's got a front seat, exclaimed Melanie as the nurse listened in silence. Come on, Monkey. We have to rehearse for the play. It's tomorrow and I haven't even chosen my outfit yet, said Melanie as she quickly made her way to her room. The day Melanie dreamed of had finally come as she amazed her audience. All the doctors and nurses were present as they applauded the young actor for her incredible performance. Melanie, though, was concerned as her dear friend hadn't come to see her. I hope he's okay, she thought to herself as the hospital staff was cleaning the stage around her. Melanie, you seem a bit tired. Why don't you go to your room and rest? Nurse Annie kindly advised her. I think I will, Melanie answered, who at that point seemed exhausted. I feel so lonely, Melanie told herself. Why is it so dark and cold? She wondered as she slowly made her way to her room. Melanie got into bed and soon fell asleep. It was in her dreams that she found comfort and lived the life she had always dreamed of. In her dreams, Melanie would celebrate many birthdays with family and friends. She would graduate from school. She would travel the world. She would become a famous actor. she would fall in love and have a family of her own. Melanie? Oh, Melanie, called a familiar voice. Who is it? Asked Melanie, blinded by the intense light before her. Hey, partner, I didn't know you were a brunette, the voice replied. Joe, is that you? Asked Melanie in relief. It's me. I'm sorry I couldn't come to your play. Joe apologized. Don't worry about it. I'm just so happy you are here now, answered Melanie, who was overwhelmed with joy at the sight of her friend. Come on now. It's time to go. Joe spoke softly. Where are we going? Melanie curiously asked. Melanie, you of all people know that the show must go on, Joe replied as the two friends made their way through the door. And that, my friends, is the end of the story. Did you enjoy the story? Berry, did you enjoy the story? Yes, she did. But she wants to remind you of something. She wants me to tell you that for some interesting and educational activities related to this story, remember to use the accompanying worksheet from my website, thelearningsutra.com. This story is in memory of all the children lost to cancer. So did you enjoy the story, The Show Must Go On? I'm sure you did. And once again, remember to use the accompanying worksheet from my website, thelearningsutra.com, for some interesting and educational activities that you can do before, while, and after watching the story too. If you haven't downloaded the worksheet yet, what are you waiting for? They are free to download and will help you understand the story better. For now, namaste, till I see you again. Oh, wait, Berry wants to say namaste too. Namaste, everyone. See you soon.
Did you enjoy today's story? If you want to listen to more stories like this, subscribe now to my channel, Storyland by Learning Sutra, where you can learn English through stories. For now, bye from Story Aunty. See you again in Storyland.